Welcome back to another special edition of the Behind the Mask podcast. I am your host, Takeo Spikes, joined alongside by my co-host, better known as
your favorite plus-size model, Tutan Reyes, in the building.
Plus-size model. Listen, man, I appreciate you coming to show up for work today. It's your birthday, bro, so you know what I mean? We want to just show you a little birthday love and everything too, man. So, like, big shout out to you, bro. Happy 28th birthday.
Appreciate it, man. Scorpio season, you know what it is.
Yeah, so without further ado, I wanted to make sure this episode was even better because sometimes you get tired of talking to me. So I had to call in one of our homies, man. Listen, love her to death. 2016.
It turned out that Americans won all three semi-finals. Kristi Castlin completing their supremacy.
Bronze medalist in the 100-meter hurdles in Rio de Janeiro. We've been there a time or two. Man, let's bring in our champion, man. She's awesome. She's everything. Give it up for Kristi Castlin.
Hey. Hey.
What's good? What's good?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on the award-winning Behind the Mask podcast. Finally. Yes. I'm like, when am I getting the call? What's up?
Well, you got the call, and it's time to ball out with the words and conversation we're about to give right now.
Of course, I'm ready.
Hey, check this out. But before I even go into it, man, I voted early. Want everybody to see that, so make sure you vote. Kristi, I know you went out there and you made that vote earlier today too.
Yes, I voted today. I don't have my sticker on. I just came from a workout. So I got my vote, and I'm so happy because when I actually voted earlier this year, I waited in line for 3 hours. And today I went right down to State Farm Arena, was in and out 10, 15 minutes max. So, definitely made sure my voice was heard and went out and voted.
Yeah, I was told they had a bunch of machines in the building, right?
Oh, they have at least, I think it's 300 machines that they have, and so many volunteers. The parking is seamless, process is seamless. I was more than impressed with just the overall process of going out and exercising my vote. So anybody registered in Fulton County, in Atlanta, State Farm Arena, you can be in and out. Go ahead and go before Election Day. I mean, if you have to wait till Election Day, that's cool too, but just make sure you go out and exercise your right to vote.
So Kristi already told y'all that's the call to action. Get your butt out and vote. No more complaining. Let's get out and vote as a whole. Now we're bringing the attention back to you, Kristi. So you're one of the most humblest divas that I've met of all time. Love the swag, love everything that you bring. But how did you get the nickname Hollywood?
Well, I have humbled myself over the years.
Oh, really?
I guess I would say no. I was always, somewhat humble, but always had this big personality.
And here is Kristi Castlin. After all the indoor success. All right, well, she's confident, right? After all the indoor success, she's made her first Olympic final.
And my summer track coach, Tony Bennett, I first started working with him. And again, I came from cheerleading and started doing track. I started running track actually in 9th grade. So I came out to the track. I didn't have any sports glasses on. I had some big designer glasses on or something like that. And Coach Bennett was like, who do you think you are? You Hollywood? You coming out like you Hollywood? I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am Hollywood. So that's how I got the nickname. That's how I got the name Hollywood. So ever since then, it was that's how I came out as Kristi Hollywood.
I love it. I love it. And we had you coming on the show. A lot of guys were in our DMs, in the Behind the Mask podcast DMs. They wanted to know, y'all got this beautiful, AKA Olympian coming on the show. Is Hollywood single, and how can we catch up with somebody so fast? So here's your chance, yo. Let the people know.
Well, I am dating somebody, so I am not single. But I have a whole lot of single friends. Some other cute girls, very successful. So go ahead and slide in those DMs still. So I can get
This is how it started. This is how it's going.
This is how it started, and this is how it's going. So yes, all of these guys out here wondering if I'm single. If you check off the list, I'll definitely put you in contact with some of my eligible homegirls.
Well, some of those eligible homegirls, they wouldn't happen to be with you on that trip you just took out there outside the country, huh?
Yeah, they might be. We actually had 2 or 3 eligible, very prestigious women that are, in my network that were on the trip. So, we can definitely talk about that at a later date. All
right, guys. Listen, you got the information.
There it is. Follow Kristi on social media. Yeah, I see she'll post the pictures of them,
Yes, at Kristi Castlin. Go ahead.
Hey, Kristi, I found out what was crazy, though, like going back, and we've been knowing each other for a while, but one of the things that I found out, quite surprising, you didn't even start running track until you were 14 years old. And you look at fast forward 2016, now you're on the stadium, on the podium with the bronze medal for, for your victory. So like looking at that, like what was it that happened at age 14 to make you realize like, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, I actually wanted to run track in middle school, but I was already doing cheerleading, and we had recently just lost my father. So I think my mom was just a little bit overwhelmed with having 2 kids and both of them trying to do sports and things like that. So my grandma tried to get me to run track in the 8th grade, like behind my mom's back, and that didn't go down so well. So I had to wait a year, and in 9th grade, finally, I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm in PE. Like, I would come home from field day with all these blue ribbons, beating everybody. And I was like, Mom, you have to let me run track. You have to let me run track. So she finally did. She finally let me run track. I was still doing cheerleading at the time as well, but she finally let me start running track. And my freshman year, I went to the state championship, and I came in 6th. I came in 6th in the 100 hurdles and 7th in the 300 hurdles. And I just told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm not doing this. I'm not coming in 6th or 7th ever again. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. That's just not me. And after that, I won every single state championship after that till I was a senior in high school. So that's kind of how I got started, and this is how it's going.
Amazing. And fast forward to that 26 Olympics in Rio, as Spike said, you won the bronze. U.S. track and field team swept the podium, right? So
yes.
That had to be an amazing feeling. And I know the 100-meter hurdles is a race where you can't really have any mistakes. Take us from the blocks over the first hurdle through the finish line, getting that bronze medal.
Well, it started, it kind of started in the warm-up because I was so tired warming up. I was literally like cramping in both of my calves. I was like, yo, I don't know how I'm about to do this.
And Kristi Castlin trains in Los Angeles, and she's done very well thus far in these rounds, winning her heat and her semifinal.
Like, I don't know how this happened. So from the practice track over to the starting line, I was just kind of going in my head, in my zone, just getting in my zone. And I just kind of cleared everything. And when that gun went off, I was in probably last place going over the first hurdle.
At the gun, they go over the first hurdle, and Rollins has a slight lead. Ali is there as well.
I am not the starter. I am going to work on that this year. That's probably the difference. And me getting a bronze and getting a gold, I am not a starter. But when I finished and I came across the line, like,
take command. Final hurdle, Rollins wins it. It looked like it might have been Ali for the silver. We'll see. And then tight for bronze.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a sweep.
You know, Cindy, great competitor. I kind of saw her out of my peripheral. So when I was waiting for the results on the screen, I was just praying like, God, come on. Like, I know I did it. Like, I know I did. Because, you know, before we was like, me, Nia, and Brianna, we all was like, no, you got to win. So nobody went into it. Like, everybody went into it with the mindset like, yo, I'm trying to win. So it was like, hey, well, if we're all trying to get first, then, essentially it would be the outcome that happened, first, second, and third. So
it's the bronze, Tom.
It was too tight to call, and Kristi Castlin, it is a U.S. sweep, the first sweep in this event in Olympic history.
When my name finally came up, I was like, hell yeah, this shit is done. Like, hell yeah. Like,
we live, baby, we live.
Like, yes, like, and I wasn't like, hell yeah, that I won a medal. I was like, hell yeah, I did my part. Like, hell yeah, like, you know what I mean? So that was, definitely big and life-changing. So that was cool.
Yeah, and you talked about it. You was like, listen, I didn't come out with a good start. I remember vividly watching it, and it was maybe like after the 7th hurdle, it seems like you were shot out of a cannon. And you kind of alluded to it when you came across the finish line and you looked up at the Jumbotron to see, because to me, the look I was like, yo, she won. I was talking to my daughter, Jakai, and I was like, oh no. And you was looking like, I hope I got third. Like, did you know though? Did you know right off top when you?
It was like, again, I like 80% knew. 80% knew, but again, I'm on this side of the track, so I'm still, I still got to worry about the other girls on the other side of the track. So I'm never one to hurry up and celebrate or quickly celebrate or anything like that. I'm like, let me wait, because I've been on the other side. Like, I've had a girl run and race me and celebrate it, and then I was the one that actually won the race. So I was like, I'm not about to jump the gun here. Let me make sure I got this before I'm, just really celebrating. So
hey, give us the skinny though, because you were like, oh, it's going down when you got that bronze.
Yeah.
Like, and like everybody, like especially everybody in the they were watching. Yeah. Like, what was the first thing you thought to your mind? Because I remember the conversations you and I used to have, like, I deserve this and this how hard I'm gonna work for it.
Yeah.
And I used to love it. You know what I mean? So like, what was that first thought after you got the validation that it was bronze?
I think my first thought was just like, it took me 8 years just to even make my first Olympic team. So it was like, not only did I make it, now I got this medal. So I was just like, yo, like, hell yeah. Like, I knew, like you said, all these years and times I was just manifesting, talking to you, talking to other people who had been at such a high level. And I was always so fortunate because I was around high network and high net worth people who always held me accountable and always kind of fed me that good vibes, good energy. Yeah, you got it. Let's do this shit. Like, you it. So I just finally felt like a sigh of relief, but also just like, it's gotta be like a doctor passing their medical exam, or a football player, winning, like you guys winning the Super Bowl or winning the championship or something like that. So it's just like, yes, let's turn up. Now it's time to turn up, go to the club. Like, I'm good right now.
Did you bust it wide open in Rio? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, that's exactly what we was doing.
I tell her, bring it back.
Yeah, straight up. Like, if City Girls was out then, like all City Girls all night.
Oh my God. That had to be live. I know. Now, me and Spice, we went to Rio back in 2011. We had a blast. So I know y'all the top of the world, the best in the world. I know y'all kicked it out there.
Oh yeah, like we kicked it. We went out to, a couple of parties. Usain Bolt had his party, so you know how that was going down, like crazy. And the energy, like, it was so much negative press leading up to the Olympics about, the Zika virus and the accommodations, and to me, I was just like, this was overhyped. I had such a great time. The vibe was good. The people were good. I mean, I don't know if it was just because I won a medal that I was like, yes, everything is perfect. But you know, it was the energy for me. Like, it was just so amazing. I was fortunate, and it made me feel good after the fact to see other people come back and be successful and win and do it real big. So it was definitely a movie. We should have made a movie about Rio.
What goes on in Rio stays in Rio. But we recently had Justin Gatlin on, another U.S. track and field Olympian. And he said, I believe he said that when he's in the blocks and he fires out and he starts racing, he feels like he's running for his life. And I thought about it, I'm like, you know, running is you guys' livelihood. Do you ever feel that way?
You know, when I'm running, it's more of a performance mentality. I kind of feel like when I'm out, you know, as a hurdler, it's different from a sprinter who's just getting out running in a straight line. You know what I mean? I'm sure they have a process that they go through. Clearly, y'all know I'm not a 100 runner. But, you know, in the hurdles, it's like, again, very similar to when I was doing cheerleading. It's like when I get out the blocks, I'm thinking like, okay, hold my position, bring my trail leg through, don't hit any hurdles. Like, for me, it's more of just the rhythm of the race, because the hurdle race, you know, it's a rhythm and things like that. And then, you know, I go out there, I put my bindi on, I got my makeup on, like I'm like feeling like Queen Bee out there, like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like, this is a performance. And that's what keeps me from being so nervous and, you know, doing all that. It's just like, it's fun, you know?
You know what? Gad also talked about, you know, the more and more I hear the stories, but he talked about not only it being like your livelihood, but more so like how COVID-19 really came in as you were preparing for the 2020 Olympics. We all know it's been postponed, but how it really stopped your livelihood, your ability to earn a career throughout the craft that you do. And so, I don't know, I guess kind of sum it up, like how has life really changed for you just from a career perspective of just running?
Well, you know, with me, honestly, I was like feeling like this time for me, this was actually going to be my 10th year as a professional. And I kind of felt like it was just like a blessing for me for a minute, I could just take a break. Like I really just felt like I needed a break. I needed to get myself together, like mentally. I could just take time to work on my own, like physical health, mental health. Like I was able to work on all of that with living at home, being in Los Angeles, and just like with all my friends and family being in A and training in Los Angeles. It's like I always just feel separated. I'm like, damn, like, oh, this is going on in Atlanta. That's happening. Like just being connected to being a girl who has been connected in her community and that's always in her community. And it's like, it's kind of like being in the military, you know, not as rigorous and things like that. But you guys know as well, being away, maybe playing in different cities with different teams and being away from that home base and things like that. So when COVID-19 happened, I kind of immediately left Los Angeles and I came back to Atlanta and I continued to train somewhat. But, you know, the lack of meets and, you know, the lack of with sponsorships and all that stuff started to trickle down and change and stuff like that too. So I kind of really had to put a lot of my time and energy also into life after sport. Like, okay, this is real. You know what I mean? If this stops tomorrow, what am I going to be doing? You know, or am I going in corporate America? Am I going to be doing my business? Like, I need to really get myself together to know what I would be doing outside of sport.
On the Behind the Mask podcast, there's only one rule. There are no rules. So you got to keep it 100 with us. I'm going to ask you one question. I'm going to give you a few names. Queen Harrison, Brianna Rollins, Nia Ali. Who possesses the toughest competition for you?
Well, you know what? I respect all those ladies. And, you know, they're very tough competitors on any given day, all three of them. You know, however, I'm my biggest competition. You know what I mean? Anytime I'm well prepared, anytime I'm in the blocks, I'm ready to go. I always feel like the only person that can beat me really is me. So with the 100 hurdles, the Americans, it's so deep. It's disrespectfully deep. Like, you name 3 names, like it's 10. You got 10 girls that can come up any day and win a race. So, you know, you can't even have this mentality like, oh, Queen is here, Nia is here, Bri is here. You know, that means, oh, I got to step my game up. I got to be on my A game is up every time. Like me and Brianna train together every day. So, you know, it's a very high level training environment every day. Brianna knows I'm not going to lay down for her. She's not going to lay down for me. You know, so I think just in the hurdles, it's highly competitive, and everybody knows that any given day, anybody who comes out can really win that race.
And y'all be going after each other's throat too in practice, huh?
Like, it's, again, like I said, it's like, and it's not even us all the time. Like me, Brianna, and Dalila, who's now the world record holder in the 400 hurdles, we all train together in the same setting. So me and Brianna might look over and see D doing the interval, and we like, damn, she just killed that. Like, we can't be half stepping on what we're doing. So it's just an iron sharpens iron type of situation. You know, again, even when I'm in a small training setting, or even when I go and I line up and run hurdles.
And you talk about how deep that hurdle field is for the U.S. and all the competition in there. I'm gonna give you another name now, a young up and comer, locally from Atlanta here too, Tia Jones. How bright is her future?
You know, I love Tia Jones. I love everything about her. First of all, she's a fierce competitor, great competitor. Then she from the ATL, so you know she got swag. She looks good, beautiful girl. We actually competed against each other this year at the U.S. Championships, and she was running very well. Unfortunately, false started in the finals of the race, and it was crazy because I just take myself back to 2012 when I would have actually won my first World Indoor Championship.
Well, Castlin was left behind there, and unfortunately, she looks like she's out of the race. So too of Dixon. Well, that's a strange affair. Talai is coming through in the end, though, from Morisano, but we'll have to wait and see what that was all about.
And there was a malfunction with the gun, so, you know, it sounded like a false start situation, but it wasn't. But I just remember how heartbroken and devastated and things like that. So I just tried to offer her some words of encouragement after, because, you know, she is the future. She's the future of the women's 100-meter hurdle. So, you know, again, love Tia, beautiful girl. I'm cheering for her, hometown girl. So, again, as soon as I throw up the deuces, I'm team Tia all the way. Yeah, like, you got it, girl. Girl, you know me. I'm in the fan club. Let's go.
Oh, man. And so you talk from present to the future. Let's talk about the past. If you had to compile the all-time greats in 100-meter hurdles, who would you pick?
The 100-meter hurdles, all-time greats. Oh, it's so hard. It's some all-time. I mean, of course, Gail Devers, all-time great. Like, period. It's just, it is what it is. But, I mean, I think a lot of the girls who are still competing right now are just, you know, all-time greats. I know just Melissa Morrison as well, and Benita Fitzgerald Mosley, Olympic gold medalist. But, you know, it's very hard just because some of the ladies right now who are performing so well, running so well, after their careers are over, they will be a part of those all-time greats. So, you know, I guess only time will tell. It's really hard because I'm so honest, and I'm just looking like, you know, some people who have came before versus some of the girls that are running right now. I'm like, it's just unmatched.
Hey, I respect that answer because it is a lot of heat in the field now, a lot of more than like just good quality heat, but great heat as far as the competition. I want to ask you this question. unlike when you look at football, basketball, when they play games, they may have back-to-back games on one night, then the next night. Football, it's a chance that you could play 2 nights out of the week. At least you're playing once every 7 days. How difficult is it to stay engaged already knowing what championships happen, every 2 years, correct?
So there's a world championship every year, and then the Olympics is every 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yes.
So when you look at the world championship, that's once a year. You only got 12 seconds to shine, technically, to go out and prove your worth, what you've been doing all along. How hard is it, just to give our listeners some inside sight of it, just to stay engaged, knowing that I got to wait a whole year before the big show comes up, but yet and still I always not only got to stay engaged, but I got to be at the top of my game, especially with COVID now coming in, throwing in a monkey wrench.
Right. So especially with the Olympics, the world championships for a track and field athlete, it's good. It's like a NFC or AFC championship. You know what I mean? It's cool, but it's not like everybody wants that Super Bowl, to be in the Super Bowl. So that is what the Olympics would be considered for a track athlete. So just like I said before, it took me 8 years just to make one Olympic team. So it was like, boom, tried out in 2008, didn't make it. Got to wait another 4 years. Boom, in 2012, tried out, didn't make it. So it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I really want to do this. This is my ultimate goal and my ultimate dream. I've been fortunate to be a sponsored athlete. So I have a major sponsor to still keep running and going to some exhibition meets and running in some world championships and things like that. I've been fortunate to do so, but it's a lot of people, maybe, now even 60%, 50 to 60% of track athletes who don't have a contract. So you're literally working, paying bills, going to practice, just trying to make ends meet just to stay in shape and stay fit for that next opportunity to make it to the Olympics. So even like some athletes right now, you may be in a situation where your contract is up or ending. This year, there weren't any competitions for you to actually go out and prove yourself. So for the next 6 months, you're saving up or you're sacrificing and you're working just for this next opportunity in June of next year to try out for the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So, it's hard because in track also is so political. It's not like they're letting the fastest time or the fastest people in the races. It might be, oh, this person is your agent, so we owe this person a favor, or there's too many Americans, so we're not going to let.
Oh, hold up, man. You mean to tell you for real?
It's disrespect. It's been times where I might have, again, the 6th to 7th fastest time in the world, and they're like, no, we're not inviting her to the meet. We're not inviting her to the competition. Or you don't want to pay me my appearance fee. So you rather invite a girl to come and run for free because like we talked before, all the 100 hurdlers are going to be fast. So why would we pay a Kristi Castlin to come, or we could pay another girl and really almost get a similar result?
But in essence, they're cheating the consumers. They're cheating the fans, which I know you don't want to say this, but I'll say it. It's bullshit. It's exactly what it is.
It's like when you're in the, U.S. Open or you're in the best people, if you're ranked, you're allowed a chance to be in a competition. Right. Where it's in track, they're giving 8 lanes and they're like, that's it. So, I mean, now it's more than ever how I feel that it's time for us to, get together, come up with our own American circuit and meets and things like that. So you can really see the best talent. A lot of the times the best talent is sitting at home because they just not allowed to get in the competition. Or even in the Olympics, like only 3 people can go. 3 people can go. You only getting 3 people. It doesn't matter if you can run a world record. You can have run the fastest time of the whole year. If you line up that day and you don't perform, then you're not going.
That's pressure, man.
Wow, it is. It is.
So,
do you guys? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like let the talent shine, let the best people shine. We want to see some action. We want to see, you know, head to head, a lot of races. This is you guys' lane. I see a lot of people talking about, you know, Cheetah Man and now, you know, all these football players, oh, they so bad. I'm like, these football players are not that bad.
Hey, hold up, man. Don't be disrespecting the brotherhood like that, man.
Run it.
You don't make me put you on the track.
I'm like, I'm just like, you know, like you said, y'all just talk to JG. Y'all just talk to Gat. Y'all really think these dudes is running with Gat? Like, cut it out.
I don't. You gotta relax.
Like, relax.
I know one thing. If I get in that race with Spice, I'm gonna beat him. That's what I do know.
You gonna pull 3 hamstrings. You only got 2.
Let's line it up.
I tell you what, if you're not training, Kristi, and you see this race and me and Spice in it, you got to come there to show out.
Oh, we live streaming.
Yeah,
like, we're live streaming this race straight up.
And I'm gonna talk shit the whole way. Look at that.
Hey, I told Gat already. I said, look, Gat, I'm training with running with the Bulls next year in Spain. Then I'm gonna come dust this plus size model off too. So I'll make sure you bring a medal or a replica or something. I need something hanging around my neck. We're gonna have
the straight up. We're gonna have the BTM medal. We're gonna have it behind.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Everything. We having it. Line it up.
No doubt. And speaking of medals, though, you training, you getting ready. You've experienced the glory once before. What would another Olympic medal mean for Kristi Castlin?
You know, I think another Olympic medal for me now is just like the icing on the cake. Like, I think, you know, it's one thing now. I know I can do it. You know, I know I can do it. I've been there before, so. It's just sharpening my tools, sharpening my set. Like I'm so excited about, again, like life after sport. You know, I have my own business and things are going great, but you know, I've really taken time to sacrifice. Like literally, I'm sacrificing everything, lifestyle, wants. It's a lot of stuff that I'm doing. So now, you know, Kristi Hollywood and, you know, Kristi Castlin as a professional, you know, it's 2 separate things. So I'm really sacrificing a lot. So I know I'm like, you know, it's gold is the only outcome. That's the only thing I'm accepting.
Yeah, you talked about your own business. You teasing us now. We know what it is. Let the viewers know. What's your own business? What you got going on?
Yeah, I have my own real estate development and investment company, Castlin Homes. It's been jumping off. It's popping off. A lot of great things going in Atlanta, and I've really been expanding. I have some great ladies also involved. So, you know, it's just so much about home ownership, you know, getting these young ladies. I love girls and women and helping and motivating girls and women. So, you know, I'm all about let's move over from paying somebody else's, you know, mortgage. Let's get away from paying rent and really just pushing home ownership and savings and financial responsibility and things like that. So I have Castlin Homes, and then I've also started my own other organization called the Athletic Girls Club. So the Athletic Girls Club is actually a social club for girls and women who were involved in sport. And it's all about, again, networking and helping one another for life after sport, or even on the high school and collegiate level, allowing young girls to plan for their lives as professional athletes or segueing into the professional world after sport is done. So, you know, again, like I said, that's why I was like, I got myself on a leash. I'm so excited about both organizations and everything that I have going on. So, you know, you're going to see Castlin Homes coming to you and the Athletic Girls Club.
Hey, so how can we find out more? Because I know a lot of people want to know more. You know, probably try to slip in the DMs too, but this is business, people. So, hey, let us know how can they find out more?
Yes, they can always go to my Instagram page. That's where I always post the most information. That's at Kristi Castlin, Kristi with a K, Kristi, Castlin. And also I have my own website, KRISTICastlin.com. So, that's where most of my information is there. I have a lot of stuff, again, upcoming soon on both the Instagram for Athletic Girls Club and Castlin Homes. So just, stay tuned, check me out, follow me. When I say that I'm putting the city on my shoulders, Atlanta, and then also I know I'm representing our country, the United States. So, I would love everyone's support. When I go out, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for everybody. So I would just love for y'all to be Team Kristi Hollywood.
Well, Kristi, we team Kristi over here at the BTM studios, man. So we appreciate the time. And hey, make sure you stay tuned because I really might need for you to put that BTM medal around my neck. After I done too long. You know what I'm saying?
You know how much I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this BTM race. I am ready. I'm ready.
I already got the crown on. I'm ready.
Whatever, man.
All right.
All right, girl.